So a couple of years ago, I became a software engineer at the age of 32. I had zero technical experience, no technical background, no computer science degree, and I learned most of it for free online off YouTube. And I did this whilst I had a full-time job. So I lived this like double life because I was working in marketing in this corporate office in the daytime. Then at night and at weekends, I'd go home and I just shut myself off from the world and learned to code. Didn't really have much of a social life, but at the end of it, I got a job as a software engineer. My career up until this was a shit show. So I got a law degree, never used it, did door-to-door sales, recruitment, was an English teacher, worked as a milkman, worked in bars, call centers, a health clinic, worked in marketing. And I remember I turned 30 and I was just feeling like so behind and like lost in my career because I prioritized traveling and had like a blast, went all over the world. But my career was like the one thing, I could just never get a grip on it. And I wanted something that was interesting, like challenging intellectually. And I really wanted to become a digital nomad. And I read that tech is the best way you can do that. So I looked into tech and looked into coding. Coding I thought would be really dry. It just sounded like really boring. And the idea of just staring at a screen all day sounded not attractive to me. But everyone wanted this skill. And I was like, okay, well, let's just try it out and see what it's like. So went onto YouTube and I did this HTML course. So I went down this rabbit hole and I've not come up since because I just fell in love with it. But it was not easy. Like I took a fairly big pay cut. I've been managed by people younger than me. Like learning to code in your 30s, you're just tested to your maximum, and just learning like really technical skills is difficult. This page and this video is for anyone who's in a similar boat. Maybe you're looking to change careers into tech, or you're just a computer science student or graduate looking for your first role. And yeah, just general advice and a roadmap from someone who's a little bit further down the road and has been through this process. One of the first bits of advice I'd give you is, and I kind of skipped this, I would spend some time getting a really high level overview of everything in tech, like all the different areas that you can work in. So you can like look at all these different areas, understand them, understand the tasks that you do, so you can pick which of these jobs is best suited to you. So you've got like UX, you've got cloud, which is a lot of processes. Do you like seeing where things are hosted, all that kind of stuff. You got AI, which is a bit more mathematical. You got being a developer, a programmer, so you're actually building things and creating things. Or you got like things like sales and more like non-technical roles. So yeah, you can understand at a high level all the different areas of tech, and this will just help you in the job because you can understand all the different like moving parts. But you can see which of these jobs is the best suited to you and what tech stack you need to learn.
All right, thank you to Monday.com for sponsoring this part of the video. So recently I've been trying to build an app. So it's been me, well, it started off as me, a load of highlighter pens, a load of like sticky notes, and it was a bit chaotic where I'm trying to work out what I need to build, what I built already, and what I'm putting off. And I think a lot of people do this. They start building an app, and then it becomes this beast and you've got to like organize it. So I've been using Monday.com and I set up a board where I can track features, bugs, ideas, like whatever, and it's really flexible, and I've made it to fit exactly how I like to work. But it's the automations where I get the most value out of it. For example, if I move a task to in progress, it updates the status, sends a reminder if I haven't touched it in a few days. So it's just little stuff like that that keeps things moving without me having to think about it. And I'm a visual person as well, so having like a visual timeline of stuff is just really helpful because I can see what's coming up without having to like scramble at the last minute for features. So if you're building an app or you just got a project and you want to stay more organized without making it like a big thing, then if you're watching this, you can try Monday.com for free. There's a link in the description. And if you do check it out, hope you enjoy it.
And advice number 2 is to get really clear on your why. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you switching careers into tech? You know, what is your fuel? All right, because the why is your fuel. So what motivates you? And the reason you need to do this, I had so many nights where it'd be Tuesday night, it's 8 p.m. I used to go to this library, and I remember once I was learning, and I was just doing this, and my eyes were just like nodding off. But I was so motivated, I was still there. So when you don't feel like doing it, when you're tired, that motivation is like fuel. Advice number 3, you want to find a roadmap and get really clear of exactly what you need to learn. Roadmaps.sh, I think it is really good for this. And I would advise not to spend any money at this point. So all you want to do is just see how you like it. Just see how you vibe with it. Because like the worst case scenario is you change careers into something you hate. So you want to find out if you enjoy this. The good thing about tech is that you can do it from a computer and you can see the job. You can see if you like the job before you do it. Okay, next you want to figure out how you want to learn, and you got 3 options. Option number 1 is to do a boot camp. Okay. Option number 2 is to go back to college or university. Option number 3 is to do what I did and just do it self-taught. So which one you choose obviously is dependent on if you can afford it, if you can afford a boot camp. It depends on what your career aspirations are. Like if you want to go into AI, for example, then masters is a really good idea for AI. Also like discipline and how motivated you are. How much structure do you need? Me personally, I needed no motivation. I didn't need structure. I knew what I wanted to do and I was going to do it by hook or by crook. So what I did was I went onto a boot camp. So I downloaded their curriculum and I just did it. I did my own curriculum off YouTube. And if you want to do what I did, obviously the big pro of that is that it's very cheap. So there's loads of courses that you can do now. You can do like Udemy, YouTube courses. I really like Zero to Mastery. So I'll link them down below in the description. Really good. It's like a cheaper version of a boot camp, loads of courses. Figure out what you need to learn and you just do it in your own pace. But all of these have pros and cons. So the big con with that is that maybe you need structure. Maybe you're just not motivated. And also like learning on your own is kind of lonely. Like a good thing about a boot camp, you're gonna learn with lots of people. The chances of you quitting is a lot lower. You know, some boot camps cost like $10,000. That could be a great investment for you if you get the career you want. So you just gotta figure out, you gotta do a big pro and con list and figure it out. Choose an option, then go with it. What you could do is just try it self-taught and just see how that goes. Okay, next you want to get a clear schedule and sacrifice. All right, so by clear schedule, I mean set a realistic program for yourself of when you can sit down at a computer every week and learn. Like particularly if you have a full-time job like I did, you've got to be really strict with this. And by sacrifice, basically, this is not going to be forever and you have to maybe sacrifice at this point in your life. So yeah, for me personally, I'm not even joking, I went all in. Weekends I was doing like 8 to 10 hours a day and every week now I was learning. And I did this for like a year and a half. So I went all in. I am so thankful for the sacrifices that I made a couple of years ago because now I'm like reaping the rewards of it. So yeah, this is not going to be forever, but you might have a 50-year career, so a year or 2 is probably worth it in the long run. Also, what helped me as well was tracking all the learning I was doing, and also like immersing myself in the technology. So for example, with tracking it, there's loads of these different apps you can use, like the Pomodoro apps, there's a ton of them, where you're just, every time you sit down and you're learning, you click this button and it will just track how much you're learning. At the end of every week, you can then look at it and assess how you're getting on, how'd you do that week. And in terms of immersing yourself into it, just listen to podcasts, watch loads of YouTube videos, just whatever technology you're working for, like if you're learning the cloud, if you're learning software engineering, AI, just really immerse yourself in the area because it will help you learn the lingo. And then when you get to interviews, you'll just be a lot more comfortable with knowing what you're talking about. Next, whatever you're learning, you want to do project-based learning and avoid tutorial hell. So if you don't know what that is, it's where you just get so comfortable watching someone else at a computer type away and you're just copying them. You will not learn, and that approach will slow you down. You want to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and how you're basically learning to become a problem solver. Pick a project which makes you excited to want to sit down in front of this thing and you want to build something. You'll just be a lot more motivated. You know, for example, if you're a software engineer, I say to software engineers, pick a SaaS, like try and build a SaaS. Worst case scenario, you've got a really good project in your portfolio. Best case scenario, you've got a business. So yeah, you don't want to coast and you want to feel as if your brain is actually hurting because you're pushing yourself and you're learning to become a problem solver. And like if you, for example, if you're coding, a really good website for project-based learning is the Odin Project because it's all project-based learning. Don't watch too many tutorials and do projects. Okay, next, you will never know when you're good enough. All right, so for example, if you're getting really good, you feel you're progressing a lot and you're like, how do I know when I should start applying for jobs? You're never gonna know. There's not like a finish line that you cross over and you're like, great, you apply to a job, you get an interview. It doesn't really work that way. What I did, and what you probably should do, is when you feel that you're at a stage where you can build relatively decent things, start applying, because you can get feedback on what your strengths and weaknesses are. And in terms of applying in interviews, like when I started, it's a lot harder nowadays. It's just harder to get in. So I used to work as a recruiter, and one thing I always saw in successful candidates, particularly juniors, you're either a CV or you're a person. So you want to find ways to become a person rather than just a random CV in someone's inbox. And how you do that is like having a personal brand. It's a really good idea. Like looking for referrals and just networking. So any way that you're not just a CV in an inbox, you're a real person and you have that connection, you're much likely to get a job out. And what I see is that a lot of people just obsess over the technical side of it. They think if I get good technically, then I'll get a job. But a lot of it is about a numbers game. Get as many CVs out there and start building your soft skills up and network as much as you can. And that is it. If you got value out of this, if you like the video, like it, subscribe if you want. If you're learning this stuff for the first time, if you're just getting into tech, tell me your story. I want to hear like what you're doing and why you watched this video. I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding. Ciao.